Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news. The buzz around the league right now is not just about the Packers' current hot streak or the standout performances from players like Rashan Gary, but about a potential blockbuster move that could reshape the NFC landscape. Rumors are swirling that Green Bay is actively in talks to acquire Nick Bosa from the San Francisco 49ers, a move that could turn their already formidable defense into a true nightmare for opponents. Now, I know this sounds almost too good to be true, especially given the Packers' history of making bold moves, but the whispers are getting louder, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Let's set the stage. The Packers, sitting comfortably at 9-3-1, are in a fierce battle for the NFC North crown, currently holding a tiebreaker over the Vikings, who are at 9-4. The idea of adding Bosa to this mix is nothing short of a game-changer. For those who follow the NFL closely, you know that Bosa, at just 28 years old, is one of the most relentless pass rushers in the league. This guy is a pure force of nature on the field, and his numbers this season are astonishing, with 14. 5 sacks so far, which puts him in the top 2 in the league according to Pro Football Reference, along with 23 QB hits, 6 forced fumbles, and a PFF grade of 92. Bosa is playing at an elite level. To put that into perspective, his career average PFF grade is around 89. So he's performing above his usual standards. What makes Bosa so dangerous is his explosive burst off the line, creating a pressure rate of about 0.45 per snap, which is practically unheard of in today's NFL. His ability to get into the backfield and disrupt plays is what makes him a true difference maker. In 2025 alone, he's tallied 70 tackles with 12 for loss, and he's proven to be a nightmare for offenses, even after suffering a shoulder injury in Week 9 that caused him to miss 2 games. Still, his impact remains undeniable. Over his career, Bosa has accumulated an impressive 85 sacks in just 90 games, alongside 350 tackles and a combined EPA of plus 32. 5 in the 2020-25 seasons. That's the kind of production that elevates a defense from good to legendary. Now, let's talk about the mechanics of this potential trade. The 49ers, currently sitting at 7-6, are facing some cap constraints with only about $8 million available in cap space. They're in a bit of a retooling phase, trying to stay competitive while managing their financial limitations. To them, Bosa, despite being a luxury at a $25 million cap hit, is a valuable asset that could net them a first-round pick plus some additional depth at edge. Why? Because with the 49ers looking ahead, they're prioritizing extending Brock Purdy, whose QBR of 93. 2 has shown he's their franchise quarterback for the future and bolstering their offensive line. Their defense, although still solid, has been leaking points, giving up around 26 points per game, which isn't quite enough to contend in the playoffs. On the other hand, the Packers, with roughly $20 million in cap space, are in an ideal position to absorb Bosa's contract without much stress. The addition of Bosa would be a seismic shift for Green Bay's defense, which has already been playing at a high level. Pairing him up alongside Rashan Gary, who has been excellent with 8 sacks in 2025, creates a nightmare scenario for opposing offenses. Gary with an PFF grade of 86.7, and Bosa with his relentless pressure and elite production would form a dominant duo capable of elevating the Packers' pass rush to new heights. Imagine the impact. Bosa's presence alone would likely push the total sack count to around 60 for the Packers, up from their current 43. That's a plus 20% increase in expected EPA per pass, according to advanced models. Think about how this would change the way opponents attack Green Bay. Suddenly, passing the ball becomes a nightmare. Bosa's burst off the line and ability to generate pressure quickly would not only create more sacks, but also force quarterbacks into hurried throws and mistakes. His 0.45 pressure rate per snap is considered elite, and having him on the field would create chaos for offenses trying to establish rhythm. Furthermore, his run defense numbers are just as impressive. Allowing only 2 0 yards after contact per run play, Bosa's presence would bring a new level of run-stopping ability to the Packers' front seven. This unit, already anchored by Kenny Clark, who has a PFF grade of 88. 5 would resemble the dominant defenses of the 2010 Seahawks, known for their relentless pressure and suffocating run defense. The Packers' front seven with Bosa, Gary, and Clark would become a nightmare for any team trying to run or pass effectively. Now, what does this mean for the bigger picture? Well, if this trade goes through, it could catapult the Packers into true Super Bowl contention. The odds, according to DraftKings, would jump from plus 600 to plus 300 by the end of December, a remarkable leap. That's not just a small boost. That's a statement that Green Bay is all in on a championship run. Their chances of winning in the playoffs would see a significant uptick, with a projected plus 15% increase in win probability in simulated postseason scenarios. The upgrade on defense would serve as a perfect X factor, allowing Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love to operate with even more confidence, knowing they have a ferocious pass rush backing them up. An addition like Bosa would also help neutralize quarterbacks like Stafford or Hurts in deep passing situations, turning the Packers' defense into a true matchup nightmare. It's a move that echoes the legendary pressure teams like the Lombardi-era Packers or even the dominant defenses of the 2010s. It's about creating a legacy, about building a defense that not only wins games, but leaves a lasting impression on the NFL landscape. This potential move, if it materializes, would be a clear statement from the Packers' front office that they're committed to winning now, that they're willing to make bold moves to push their franchise back into the spotlight as a dynasty contender. It's a move that could define this era of Packers football, elevating them from a solid playoff team to a serious Super Bowl favorite. With Bosa's elite talent, combined with the existing talent the team has, Green Bay could be on the verge of creating a defensive juggernaut that reminds fans of the great defenses of the past, but with a modern, relentless twist. And let's not forget, this move would send a message across the league. The Packers are back in the game, not just as a team trying to sneak into the playoffs, but as a true contender that's ready to dominate. Fans, you know how special this is. A move like this doesn't happen every season, and if it comes to fruition, it will be remembered for years to come. The question is, are the Packers willing to make this bold step? Are they ready to trade a first-round pick and some depth for one of the league's most feared pass rushers? The coming weeks will tell, but one thing, for sure, the NFC North just got a lot more interesting. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, if this trade goes through, it's not just about boosting the defense, it's about re-establishing Green Bay as a dominant franchise. The team's history under Vince Lombardi is built on relentless pressure, disciplined execution, and a never-give-up attitude. Bosa embodies all of those qualities and more. His addition would not only make the Packers better on Sundays, but would elevate the entire team's mindset. It's about setting a tone, about telling the league that Green Bay is here to stay, that they're not just a flash in the pan, but a serious contender for years to come. Of course, there are questions. Will the 49ers be willing to part with Bosa? How will the Packers manage the cap? Can they keep everyone else happy? Those are questions for the front office to answer, but right now, the fans are dreaming about what could be. Imagine the roar at Lambeau Field when Bosa steps onto the field in green and gold, ready to wreak havoc on the NFL's best quarterbacks. The energy, the intensity, the passion, it would be a sight to behold. This potential acquisition also has ripple effects beyond just the defensive line. It changes the entire dynamic of the team. Opposing offenses will have to game plan around Bosa and Gary, which could open up more opportunities for others on the defense to make plays. It would also send a message to the league that the Packers are serious about reclaiming their throne, about competing at the highest level again. Fans, we're witnessing a pivotal moment in Green Bay's history. Whether it actually happens or not, the rumors themselves show just how ambitious this franchise is becoming. They are willing to make bold moves to push all in for a Super Bowl push. That's what true champions do, and if they land Bosa, the entire NFL will have to take notice. This isn't just speculation anymore. It's a sign that the Packers are gearing up for a new era, one filled with relentless pressure, fierce competition, and hopefully another shot at hoisting Lombardi's trophy. So keep your fingers crossed, stay passionate, and let's see what the future holds for our Green Bay Packers. Because one thing is clear, Big things are happening, and we're right in the middle of the action.